If I had to make a tier list today, Kanae would drop down to A tier. Yo, what is up guys? I'm here hitting you up with a new video. First and foremost guys, thank you for all the support you're showing me. Actually, it's quite funny to me that the Battlefield of Time video I uploaded recently is probably my most successful BOT guide video so far. So thank you for all the likes. I really appreciate it and appreciate the support overall. Before we also jump into the topic, if you want to support me, all the links in the description down below as per usual guys. And one another thing, I plan on playing Etheria Restart when it comes out. It drops on June 5th. Probably it's the same day as the patch drops for solo leveling, which is quite annoying for me personally. Probably will do off stream some stuff to prepare for that, but we obviously want to play solo leveling. But I will cover Etheria Restart as well because I come from like a turn-based background. I don't know if I will upload today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. I was planning on, since I played the beta, I was actually planning on making day one guide, avoid these type of mistakes, what you should do on your day one, that type of stuff. Basically after you're done with your rerolls and you're happy with the characters you have, and then basically guide you through the first day. Now let's talk about the main topic of this video. It's a yap video more or less, like all the other creators do usually. But I also want to take this opportunity overall to also give you my general thoughts outside of guides and stuff like that about the game, where I think the game is going. There is always one specific topic that I don't think is really covered properly, and the topic is about meta. What is really meta in solo leveling? What is not meta in this game, right? I think this is something that needs to be discussed or elaborated a little bit further. Generally speaking, the TLDR version is, like in my opinion, meta in this game is the character that gets released with the latest patch. That is the meta in my opinion. Because so when we look at stuff everybody's doing, like tier lists and stuff like that, right? And then you see all these characters which are getting ranked and stuff like that. You'd be like, okay, you see these characters in S tier, A tier, double S tier, whatever and so forth, and you'd be like, okay, that character must be that strong. But actually, tier lists really don't work in solo leveling. Also because of the elements and the way this game is designed. For example, funny enough, I made a hunter tier list, I think 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, where I ranked all the hunters. Like if I had to do the tier list again today, like I ranked Kanae, for example, double S tier, I would, right now, I would have to drop her down to A tier. And it's not even, that is not a clickbait, because what is a meta character? A meta character is what is currently used in the game and played the most, right? Now, a Kanae, for example, she doesn't see, like, why do you use her right now? You don't really use her. She's used in POD when it matters. Outside of that, yeah, not really. Unless you're still farming Deimos, then you can use her, but you could also use Yun. But that's just for giving a perspective, basically, just when it comes to Kanae, for example. But the video is not about Kanae. The video is about tier list and meta, or meta, actually meta is more fitting, meta in general. And as you know, we always have these discussions. We are ranking these characters, but actually a standard tier list does not work for this game. You actually, to make it more accurate, you have to kind of make a tier list with a Pridwin approach, where you have the rankings from S to D or something, but you also have to split the elements up. You have to split up fire, water, wind, and so on and so forth, and have to rank based on that element. Like, it doesn't make sense necessarily to compare a wet char to a light char, or it doesn't make sense to compare a Mirei to a Kanae, because they have different elements. The only two you could kind of compare right now is Yun and Kanae, because these two are actually from the same element and both have the same role, being DPS. So that's why these two you can compare. The other ones, it's quite hard to compare in comparison. Since Lennart is coming out, next patch, and Lennart is going to be a wind DPS unit. There's a lot of, I don't know if it's controversy, but there's a lot of talk, at least, about will Lennart power creep Mirei. And actually, in my opinion, I do believe that Lennart is going to power creep Mirei. Mirei still has her uses, but I do believe that Lennart will just be straight up better than Mirei, because what you also have to keep in mind is that the last time that we got a wind DPS hunter was Mirei last year. Now it's already a year since we got a wind DPS unit, right? So this alone is crazy enough, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised if Lennart is a lot better than Mirei. But on the other hand, I would also not surprised, because of people being annoyed by power creeps or something, that he will not be better than Mirei, for example. Could also be the case, but I think he's going to kind of replace Mirei in a sense. I would be more surprised if he's not. I don't know, I'm not sure about that one. But the thing is, the power creep in this game is not really an issue in my opinion, because the units are still good enough from what they're doing, unless, and that is not a problem with the character, that's a problem with Netmarble, if they make content designed specifically for certain hunters and characters, and you cannot clear the content if you don't have the certain character or a certain lineup, for example, right? Now, is that an issue of a beloved character you already use? No, it's a design issue, because they made it so that you have to bring another hunter. And what I see as the bigger problem, even then, it's fine, because you have to think like this. Okay, you got your wind DPS hunter, for example, right? And now 12 months later, that character is now getting replaced by a stronger DPS type unit, for example, right? Okay, I fucked up the rotation, but who cares? I'm talking. Getting replaced by another hunter. But I don't see that, actually, guys, I don't see that as an issue. I think the game has a completely different problem, and that is actually that the fact that the characters are meta the moment they drop in the game, and then they are relevant for like 1 or 2 patches, and then they become irrelevant. This is actually the main problem with this game right now. The characters are actually only useful for like 1 or 2 patches. Like the same, you could, I think the same you can say for Kanae. Kanae came out, she's good with Ant Queen, stuff like that. She was good in her patch. Then Godo came, she was good with Godo. She was still good with Sioran, which already is a long time. Now Char comes out, she's not there anymore, also because of the guild boss change, stuff like that, right? And now where can you use her right now? She's and now with the killer strat in guild boss, stuff like that, you're not gonna bring Kanae to a fight unless it's like fire purity or something like that, right? Something where it makes sense to actually put her in the team combination, right? This is I think the bigger issue with the game right now, that currently the meta is just simply character that just got released. Like around 90% of the time, the character that gets released during the latest patch is the meta unit. 90% of the time. We rarely have a situation where it's not the case. For example, Yun was the case, but then got really strong half a year later. Akari was just pre-nerfed, so she was just a bait character, right? Godo is good, but not like meta defining. That comes with Lennart. That is just the preparation for that. And I would say the only other would be kind of a half bait would be the dark characters with the lollies, Charlotte and Harper, right? Outside of that, really nothing really happened. Everything outside of that was really always super good and super strong for whatever content was released during that time. I think this is something that needs to change in this game, because I also do not like the approach. Think about it this way. You might be a little bit frustrated. Oh, my character is getting replaced now with a power creep unit a year later, but in reality it's more like, okay, you get a character, you play that character for like 1 or 2 patches, and then the elements rotate out, right? And then the content is different. The content is now not for wind element anymore or for fire, whatever. The element is different, and then your character loses purpose, and then from time to time that specific element of your character is rotating into a specific content for a week or so. Then your character is good for that 1 week again, or relevant for that 1 week of guild boss or whatever you might doing at the end of the day. But afterwards they just irrelevant for at least another 2 patches or something. Like they have their moments, like brief moments, but outside of these brief moments they're not getting really used that much. Use to Yun, for example, is one of these rare units that does not have that issue, just because she has elemental advantage no matter what, and you can already notice it in every other content right now. And also what showed the longevity of certain other units was their support abilities to Jinwoo, for example. Like if we look at Isel, for example, was also released, has more meta relevancy, for example, than a Kanae, just because of her effects, right? And with the killer strat and everything going on and so forth, right? So the main issue, as I said before, and I think I'm yapping way too long at this point, and I want to just finish this video as well, is that the main issue really is just Netmarble designs content right now where whatever unit is coming out is meta during that patch, maybe with the next patch, but that character rotates out pretty damn fast, and you cannot really make use of the OP-ness of the character because of the element proportions, and then you have to use something else. And by the time that character is potentially strong again, meta relevant again, where that content is coming back, which usually takes quite a long time because we have 5 different elements to rotate, right? There will be a new unit coming, power creeping that old unit. Yeah, and that's it for today's videos, guys. Sorry if I made too many jumps, but that's usually the case if I play and have to talk at the same time. It's super hard for me to keep it straight to the point sometimes. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As I said, I'm curious. I want to have a debate about this topic, about meta in general when it comes to solo leveling. And yeah, have a nice day, have a nice weekend. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and see you with the next one. Deuces.